We're going to start with pre-wrap, right? And what does 1A say?
Ankle needs to be in 90 degrees.
Dorsal flex.
And so that means bringing the toes up in 90 degrees. You want to have a nice 90-degree angle here. Usually, now when you guys get your ankle tags, so that you're asking here, what did I put on first? Tough skin, right? And then they put these little heel and lace pads on. We don't have those available. The little squares are Vaseline. They're there for decreasing friction, so then the blisters. So now the key to this is that you don't want it to wrinkle. It's easier for me to have the tape come off versus going this way. Does that make sense? Like I turn it up. Whoa. Careful, Ann. Okay, so you start right below the calf. Put a little tension on it. It doesn't matter. And all your goal is just to cover. Exactly, just to cover every little piece of the skin. Now, you see how I'm just going ever which way to make it nice and cover it. Okay? Let me see your other ankle. Can I? Careful, man.
I tried it this morning.
Okay. Thank you for volunteering. Smile for our punishment. Okay, so now this is what you don't want to happen. So good at it. I don't know if I can do it wrong. Dang it, roll. Okay? This. You don't want it to roll. If you roll it, it's going to create blisters. So when you roll it, what you're going to do is you're going to literally take your two fingers and you're going to peel it off. If this lands on here, I'm going to see you in the stomach. Okay? Like that. So let's make sure we select these scrappies and put them in the scraps where they belong. So try not to have it roll. Like any kind of rolling like that, you want to make sure you remove it, okay? Because that's going to cause blisters. Thank you. So, nice and smooth. Alright, if you're on your cell phone, you're not doing the right thing unless you're Googling things. Good, I hope so. Range of motion, strength, proprioception, balance.
When you're done with the pre-wrap, are you sucking it or is it just sticking?
It usually sticks. If you have like the right amount of tension, you can just lay it flat down. Okay? Yeah, it kind of sticks to itself. Now, a lot of times it will come off. You have to kind of get going and put. Okay, so now what's the next thing that actually is there? Okay, 2 anchors, right? Now in the book, it actually says putting an anchor down here. I don't do that. The reason I don't do it is because your 5th metatarsal, if I come here and I put the anchor down and I make it too tight, I'm increasing the transverse arch, which is not good. So I don't do that. You may though if you want to do it. So what's next? Medial to lateral. Why is that important that I start here and go out? Why is that important? So you don't invert it because what's the number 1 ankle sprain that people
Inversion
suffer?
ankle sprain.
Inversion ankle sprain. So I start medially, nicely putting it down over the bone, cutting it in half, and I'm actually going to lay it down and give it a little tug, really putting it into eversion. Okay? So I do 2 of those, but I want you to understand that the stirrup and the horseshoe kind of interlock each other. Kind of like a basket, if you've ever experienced that. Okay, so the horseshoe is pretty much another anchor just to hold down the stirrup. I do another stirrup, medial to lateral. And then I do another, and then see how I'm kind of, like it's another anchor, but we don't call it anchor because some people actually do this. They come all the way down here and literally make a nice horseshoe to lay down the tape, okay? That's what you kind of want. Once you start taping, you kind of see it. With holes, it has nothing to do with it. So what's next?
2 heel.
Heel locks, okay? Heel locks are kind of difficult. You're more than welcome to come in. Heel locks, kind of difficult. You start up here, you hit the Achilles, and then you lock the heel, and you come up. I'm going to show you guys.
Circulation.
No, not really. Because he's in 90 degrees. You start at the top, you come behind the Achilles, you literally lock the heel. See that? That is a heel lock. You see how you're locking the heel?
Yeah.
And now a figure 8 is, you start here, you go around the ankle, and then you go around the foot. Does that make sense? You see the difference? And here's a heel lock. Locking the heel. Okay? I'm going to show you guys on this side. That's me again. Start it here, and you come and you lock the heel.
That's the heel lock, right?
That's the heel lock.
And the figure eight is...
Figure eight, I'm going to show you one more time. Around the foot. And you have to kind of find your angle because you want it to go continuous around. This may be coming very tight. Around and laying it down. Okay? Make sense? And then you finish up by closing it off. Then you close it off. Pretty much the same. You take a look and you make sure you get rid of all of the holes because you never want holes. It's not going to come back. But also closing it up is coming up here and making it look neat. That's really tough. This is smaller, so but same point. See, I'm just coming, overlapping by half every time. Coming up and closing it off. Making it look nice.
By holes, you mean like the yellow and the...
If you take a look at his foot on this side, he actually has holes.
Oh, okay.
So you actually would maybe add another one of something or just literally come in here and, you want to cover all that up. If it doesn't look pretty, the athlete will not come back. Is that true? Like, oh man, what if they have TV times? No way. Ugly ankle tape job? No way.
It doesn't matter how you cover it up, right?
It doesn't matter how you cover it up, but when you get up here, you want to come up. You just go around. Now, what I want you to understand is that it's all a matter of what the individual looks like, shape-wise. He doesn't have a very thick ankle, okay? Muscles are very defined. Okay, so it's not that difficult. But, Danny, would you mind sitting up here very quickly, if you don't mind hopping up? I'm going to show you guys something very quickly with taking it off. I just want to show you something very quickly that's probably going to happen. Okay, now what I want you to notice on Danny's foot, his calf is much wider than his actual ankle is. Okay, you're going to see that? Bring your foot up. So when you're actually up here doing free wrap, it's going to cover you. I want to show you guys something. It's all about how you're placing it. Everybody's foot's different. So if I, for example, place this very straight and go around, well, it's not very obvious. But it's hard to do it wrong, guys. But if I come here and like I try to do the heel lock, okay, and you come up and you're wrapping it and all this wrinkly stuff is what you're going to see, okay? You can't be wrinkled. You shouldn't have any wrinkle. So it's all a matter of how you lay down the tape and how you're pulling on it. Like even here, if you start your figure eight, if I start my figure eight here and I don't angle it nicely, again, very hard. You'll see it doing wrong. You'll see it doing wrong, but you gotta make sure that the angling that you have is appropriate and that you let the tape go where it wants to go. You don't have to end at the same place that you started it. And then especially when you're doing all those other things. Now when you're cutting it off, I have plenty of scissors. When you're cutting it off, I want you to take a look at your own angle. On the right side, on the outside, it's much more bony versus on the inside. So you're actually going to come on the inside, behind the bone, and bring it up right along the Achilles tendon. So let me show you on Alex. You don't mind, Alex? We're on the medial side, going right behind the bone. Back. Start on the medial side. Oh, you're going to be ticklish. Don't jam scissors, okay? No, it's my fault. This is really tight. You're going to encourage them to keep their foot in 90 degrees. You go behind the bone. See how much cushion you have behind that bone? It's very tight. Okay. It's going to be fine. They don't get loose once you walk on it, once you run. And the pre-wrap also is not, like, it's different typing it like directly on the computer versus on pre-wrap. Now it can be too tough.